You're now tuned in to the Two Dudes, One Ball Fantasy Football Podcast.
Welcome in, everybody, to another Two Dudes, One Ball Fantasy Football Podcast. Today we're going to do a little Julio Jones trade to the Tennessee Titans reaction. Keep it nice and short and sweet. Mike.
Hell yeah, man.
Holy shit.
Holy fucking shit, everybody. I don't get this excited, but like, boom! Oh yeah! Like, we've been waiting for this since June 1st. We knew it was going to happen. We're here. This is a quick reaction. Crazy shit happened, as you guys know. If you don't know what happened when we weren't here, Julio Jones got traded. Bam! No more Falcon. It's Calvin Ridley all day. Julio Jones went to the Tennessee Titans. What'd you think? First of all, what'd you think?
When I saw it, I kind of was hoping for it, the entire thing. I feel like it made the most sense. A.J. Brown's been pulling for him. Their division is not super strong. They can easily win that. So I feel like it made a lot of sense. A lot of people are saying they gave up too much. I mean, he's a Hall of Famer. I don't think you can give up enough.
A second and a fourth.
Right.
I also heard people saying, how is Julio worth a second and a fourth? Now, he's not, but his age is what deters that a little bit. But, you know, the Falcons are probably asking for a whole lot. And they, you know, the Titans, Arthur Smith is their head coach who just left Tennessee, was probably like, hey, man, you know, that's a good team for him. It's a good home for him. It's better than San Fran. They're not going to really mess with us because we're not in the same division. We're not even in the same conference. They definitely had something going on there because that head coach had a connection there and got Julio a good spot with A.J. Brown. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
So
I hate it, but I love it.
Yeah. Obviously, I'm keeping A.J. Brown in our league in the 5th round, so this does definitely, hurt his upside a little bit. So speaking of upside, Mike, let's get into his the fantasy implications here for Julio Jones and all the players involved on both sides, the Falcons and the Titans. I'll let you start it off here. What are your immediate thoughts on the fantasy relevant players?
So I think, like, obviously A.J. Brown's the big one. We had him coming in at 5 for both of us. This is definitely going to lower him down a little bit because Julio is such a Hall of Fame wide receiver, and that team is run first. So I think you're going to lower A.J. Brown just a little bit. Maybe he's going to fall down for me like the 7. Still wide receiver 1, obviously. And Julio we had at 12, or I had him at 11. You had him at 12. I dropped him down to 14, right outside the wide receiver 1. I think you're around the same thing. That's just because he's now potentially a second option on the Titans passing attack. Or if he is the first option, A.J. Brown is someone you can't put aside. Same thing with Calvin Ridley. That's why he was a little bit lower with the Falcons. Speaking of Calvin Ridley, now that Julio's gone, Calvin Ridley obviously jumps up. Calvin Ridley is the only wide receiver really there. He is projected to have the most yards this year in 2021. Last year without Julio, he has 800 yards, 6 touchdowns. I think he was dominant. I think with that team, Matt Ryan already throwing the ball 600 times a game. Ridley is said to be the 5th best wide receiver this year. And the emergence of Kyle Pitts. He's a 3rd round draft pick. 4th round pick, right? Third pick in the overall. He is here, ladies and gentlemen. They are going to use him faster and quicker than we expected. Russell Gage could also sneak into a very late round steal spot that you might not want to take a wide receiver, but take a shot, dart throw. And that's all I got to say. I think, it helps both sides and fantasy implications.
Yeah. So pretty much just to get right here, it dropped A.J. Brown in my rankings from 5 to 9 exactly. Do you have your rankings up in front of you, Mike?
Yeah, I can pull that up in 2 seconds. Ready? And they are up. I have him at... Let me switch over to the wide receiver tab here. A.J. Brown is ranked 7th for me now.
So you have him 7th. I have him 9th. Keep your rankings open. I know I dropped Julio down to 15. You said you have him where?
14.
14. So, again, similar ranges. There's A.J. Brown's still wide receiver 1. Julio's in that wide receiver 2, maybe high to mid-end wide receiver 2 range. Now, Kyle Pitts, as you touched on, yes, he's a generational talent. He was the 4th overall pick in the draft to the Atlanta Falcons, obviously. So this does definitely help him get a nice target share coming in as a rookie. We know tight ends, rookie tight ends don't really produce much for fantasy, but he could be that outlier. So definitely higher on him. We didn't do our tight end rankings yet, so I'm not going to touch on where we have him ranked just yet. As far as quarterbacks, though, I think Matt Ryan takes a little bit of a hit, and I think Tannehill
Absolutely.
takes a big jump. I know we've
Absolutely.
been pounding Tannehill in a lot of our mocks late, so he might creep up in ADP a little bit. I still think he'll be a decent value. And then what I wanted to touch on here was actually Derrick Henry. I know we talked earlier in the day. I shot you a text saying I got a little bit of a hot take. I think that this Julio Jones trade actually hurts Derrick Henry. Their defense is terrible. I know Derrick Henry's going to do Derrick Henry things, but I think to invest a top 5 pick into him is a little risky. Again, with no pass catching upside, I think they're going to be passing the ball a lot more with that bad defense. And now adding Julio Jones, they're going to adjust their game plan from being so run heavy to now passing the ball maybe slightly more. And I think it will tick him down just a little bit, which may move Saquon Barkley back into that, top tier for me above Derrick Henry in our rankings. So I want to know your thoughts on that.
Yeah, I'm all on board there. And this year so far in the offseason and even last year, Coach Vrabel is the head coach of Tennessee Titans. He's talked highly on getting Derrick Henry's pass catching work up, pass catching ability, and get him involved in the passing game. So if this is the option here where they're going to go your route, what you think it actually might hurt him and go more passing, Derrick Henry could prevail in the passing game. He hasn't in his career, but at Alabama, his last year at Alabama, he did everything for Nick Saban. He did pass catching. He did running. He literally won Alabama a championship on his shoulders by doing everything for that team. And Vrabel, the last 2 years, has noticed that Henry, he can ride his big running back all of the AFC Championship game, take a 14-point lead against the Chiefs and blow it. He can do that. And I think Henry, yeah, I can agree. Obviously, he had a big piece like Julio. It's going to make Tannehill's numbers look better because he's going to have 2 great options to throw to now. They might incorporate them both more. So, yeah, Henry can take a dip, just not a severe dip. I can agree if we have him at 4. If he drops to 5 and Barkley leapfrogs him right there, I can get behind that. But I wouldn't be surprised if Henry, the pass catching, we've been seeing or hearing about happens. So
This year he takes off. Yeah, dude,
yeah.
I like it.
It's going to be crazy. It's going to be fucking crazy. And I can't wait to get you guys to tight end because Pitts, man, like you said, that's going to be so much fun. That comes up tomorrow.
Yeah, it should be out, nighttime tomorrow, around the same time as this one?
Yeah, probably.
All right, perfect.
So
that's it, guys. Just a quick recap on the trade and Julio Jones, just our thoughts on how it affects the fantasy relevant players. As always, subscribe to our channel, like, comment, and hit us up on Instagram at 2dudes1ballff and on Twitter at 2dudes1ball.
Yeah,
Mike, anything else?
Yeah, just listen to what you guys think about the Julio trade. You like it? You hate it? We personally both thought it was sick. I said I hated it because, the Titans have been the Ravens' separate rival outside the division. But I also like it because I like Julio Jones. I think this is a good fit for him, and you can take a new chapter this next 5 years of his career, maybe. So I hope he runs with it. And one of my old friends is a Titans fan, so I wish him the best of luck and congratulations on Quintorius Lopez Jones. All right, everybody. I'll see you guys later in the next one. Quarterbacks, tight end rankings. Catch you next one. Peace and love from me.
God bless.
Thank you for listening to the 2 Dudes, 1 Ball Fantasy Football Podcast. Please like, subscribe, and comment below.